Imagine this. You're lying beneath a night sky filled with stars. The silence is so complete, you can hear your own heartbeat. There's nothing you need to do, just lie there. And then, a question drifts across your mind. If the universe is conscious, could it be looking back at itself through my eyes? A question that may seem distant, even strange, yet it has stopped scientists, monks, philosophers, and psychedelic explorers alike in their tracks. Stopped them long enough to look deeper into the nature of reality and into themselves. In today's video, Buddha Balance invites you on an unusual journey where psychedelics, meditation, and quantum physics, three seemingly unrelated realms, mysteriously converge to form a new picture of consciousness. And perhaps, somewhere along this path, you'll encounter yourself, not through your name, your job, or your past, but through a stillness, vast, quiet, and more spacious than anything you've ever known. If this content stirs something in you, even just a little, please help Buddha Balance share it with those who might resonate too. No loud calls to action, just your quiet presence here. And that alone is already enough. Now, shall we begin? When the door of consciousness swings wide open, imagine a person sitting in deep meditation in the heart of a forest under the glow of a full moon. The wind is still, everything is silent, and the only rhythm left is the sound of breath, steady and soft in the night. At the same time, somewhere else, in a high-tech lab, surrounded by white lights and medical equipment, another person is undergoing a psilocybin-induced experience, a psychedelic journey triggered by the compound found in magic mushrooms. On one side, a state of inner peace, cultivated through hours of meditation. On the other, a sudden breakthrough in awareness brought on by chemistry. Two seemingly opposite paths, and yet, strangely, both individuals describe almost the same experience afterward. A sense of stepping outside of time, where past, present, and future dissolve into one. The ego fading, no longer a clear boundary between me and not me. Emerging with something vast, a presence, a field, or a state filled with boundless love, wisdom, or light. So what is actually happening? Could it be that meditation and psychedelics, though they arise from vastly different worlds, are both unlocking the same door? A doorway into a deeper layer of consciousness that many scientists now refer to as non-local consciousness, awareness that isn't confined by space or time. In quantum physics, there's a principle called non-locality, where two particles can affect each other instantly, no matter how far apart they are. This raises a profound question: could consciousness behave the same way? Not trapped inside the brain, but diffused or interconnected at a level that reaches across the fabric of reality? If that's true, then we may need to let go of the old dualistic mindset. Spirituality and science are not at war, they may just be two paths leading to the same horizon. One path uses subjective tools, like meditation and direct inner experience. The other relies on objective instruments, machines, measurements, experiments. But when their outcomes converge, when both bring about that same threshold-crossing experience, perhaps we're inching closer to a truth that transcends both religion and science. So maybe the real question isn't which one is right. Maybe it's how can both help illuminate something greater than themselves. And if there truly is a shared field of consciousness, a place where all boundaries melt, then perhaps we don't have to choose between meditation or psychedelics, between faith or reason. We only need to learn how to listen, through all the doors that are slowly swinging wide open. Ego dissolution, the melting of the self. One of the most common descriptions from psychedelic experiences is this: the self disappeared. Users often report a feeling of no longer being a separate individual. No name. No history. No inner monologue of who am I. Just a vast field of awareness. Boundless expansion, yet deeply peaceful. One participant in a psilocybin study at Johns Hopkins University once shared, "I was no longer me, I was light. I was life. And the strange thing is, I wasn't afraid. On the contrary, it felt like coming home. This isn't new to Buddhist meditation. In many traditions, especially Zen and Vajrayana, practitioners reach a similar state called anatta, or no self, where all clinging to a fixed identity dissolves. There is no one who is sad. There is only sadness arising. There is no thinker. There is only thought arising. Zen saying. In Buddhism, the self is seen as one of the deepest illusions, because it lies at the core of suffering. When the ego is threatened, we get angry. When the ego is wounded, we suffer. But when the ego dissolves, like a cloud vanishing into open sky, suffering no longer has anything to cling to. Both meditation and psychedelics can bring someone to this point, though they do so in very different ways. Meditation is a slow, subtle training. It's like a gentle stream, gradually wearing away the stone of the ego over time. Psychedelics, on the other hand, are a flood. They smash through the walls of the self in an instant, leaving you face to face with the vastness. Of course, not everyone is ready. A sudden ego collapse can cause confusion, or even panic, without proper guidance and a safe space. Likewise, meditation without a teacher, or practiced incorrectly, can also lead to chaotic inner experiences. But when the conditions are right, ego dissolution becomes a deeply liberating experience. You no longer feel like a lonely individual in the world, but rather an inseparable part of a living, breathing universe, feeling itself through you. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean, experiencing itself as a drop. Rumi. In the end, letting go of the ego doesn't mean losing yourself. It means realizing you were never that ego to begin with. Meditation, the natural path to expanded consciousness. Meditation is not a technique to escape life, it is a way to enter more deeply into it. While psychedelics may act like a sudden surge of electricity that flings open the door of consciousness, meditation is a gentle, steady knocking, quiet, patient, until the door opens from within. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation is called bhavana, which means cultivation or development. It's not just about sitting still, it's a gradual journey. From mental noise to awareness. From reactivity to mindfulness. From ego to no self. As the practice deepens, meditators begin to experience a subtle yet profound state. The mind becomes an observer, unattached. Like someone sitting by a riverbank, watching the water flow by, thoughts, emotions, and sensations still arise, but no longer pull you in. And in that silence, something strange and beautiful happens. You realize you are not the streams that come and go. You are the space in which they appear and disappear. Scientifically, brain imaging studies show that meditation reduces activity in the default mode network, DMN, the brain region involved in self-referencing and ego narratives. Meanwhile, areas like the prefrontal cortex, associated with awareness, compassion, and presence, become more active. Some long-time meditators describe it like this. I'm no longer meditating. Meditation is what I am. There's no one observing, only observation. No one breathing, only breath. This state mirrors what many psilocybin users report. The boundary between self and the world dissolves, everything feels alive, interconnected, and radiant. But with meditation, this state doesn't come from an external catalyst. It arises from turning inward, refining the senses, and deeply listening. What's fascinating is that despite approaching from opposite directions, both psychedelics and meditation seem to lead to the same shore, where the ego melts away, and unity with reality becomes undeniable. As if the universe has laid out many paths, some slow and gentle, others powerful and intense, all leading us back to the truth of who we are. Mindfulness is the energy that helps us recognize what is happening, without being swept away. Thich Nhat Hanh. And just as the sun never stops shining, pure awareness is always here. Meditation is simply the act of wiping the mirror clean, so that light can shine through again. You don't need to go far. The answer doesn't lie in a remote mountain or a high-tech lab. It may be found in your very next breath, if you're still enough to notice it. Quantum resonance, when the universe is conscious. James Glatfelder, a physicist specializing in complex systems theory, once made a provocative statement. Consciousness cannot merely be a random byproduct of evolution. To him, there's something in the fabric of the universe that seems to want to give birth to consciousness. As if the cosmos has been building a transcendent machine, the human brain, just so it could look back at itself. A mirror that not only reflects the world, but begins to ask, who am I? This is no longer just the realm of religion or philosophy. Quantum physics, neuroscience, and modern cosmology are beginning to echo what ancient meditation schools have long suggested. The universe is not a dead machine, it is a living flow, interconnected, responsive, and perhaps even aware. In Buddhism, this is not a foreign idea. The entire cosmos is seen as a manifestation of sunyata, emptiness, not a void, but a dynamic, ever-changing field without fixed essence or ego, from which all phenomena arise. Like a movie screen, empty of its own image, yet the foundation for every image to appear and fade. The Dharma realm is unborn, yet all phenomena arise. Avatamsaka Sutra. If Glatfelder calls this vision syncretic idealism, a new form of idealism that integrates science, Buddhism simply calls it dependent origination and no self. Quantum physics shows that nothing truly exists independently. A particle only becomes a thing when observed. Just as phenomena only appear when the mind turns its attention toward them. This is exactly what Zen Buddhism refers to when it says, mind gives rise to all things. So if reality is a vast quantum performance, who is watching? And if we are part of that performance, while also being its audience, then maybe the question who am I doesn't need a final answer. Only full presence. You don't need to master physics to feel this. All it takes is a pause, a true pause, in the middle of a busy day. And the quiet realization that something is living through you, breathing through you, knowing through you. No name, no form, but unmistakably real. The problem of the ego, mistaking the player. The ego, or self, is one of the most powerful psychological structures within us. It helps us orient ourselves in the world. Who am I? What am I doing? What do I want? But that very structure, if misunderstood, becomes the root of suffering. Why? Because we believe that this I is a separate, solid entity, in control, in need of protection, recognition, love. And when life doesn't unfold the way I want, suffering begins. A meditation master once said, an awakened person is not someone who gains something, but someone who lets go of what they thought they were. Thought they were, what does that mean? It means that for years, we've identified with a self constructed by the mind. Our name, our job, our social role, our past, expectations, memories, achievements, failures. And then we believe, this is me. But if you are just a flowing stream of impermanent phenomena, arising and fading every second, then what is truly fixed? In one teaching, the Buddha said, what is called the body, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness, the five aggregates, all are impermanent, not self, not mine. Anatalaka Sutta. It may sound abstract, but let's look closer. When you're angry, ask yourself, who is angry? What is the I that is angry? If you truly observe, you'll find only heat in the body, racing thoughts, a fast heartbeat. But no concrete person to be found. Just a process unfolding. The ego, then, is like the lead actor in a movie that you've mistaken yourself for. But in reality, you're the screen. The place where all the roles appear and disappear. Both meditation and psychedelics can help reveal this truth. Psychedelics can shatter the ego wall, allowing you to glimpse outside the role. Meditation patiently peels away each mask, each false identification. And when the ego is no longer sitting at the center, something strange and beautiful happens. You don't disappear, you expand. Like the sky that holds more than one cloud. You begin to realize you are not a thought, a feeling, or a story. You are the open space that holds them all. You don't need to get rid of the ego. You just need to stop believing you are it. And from that insight, freedom begins. Nothing left to prove. Nothing left to protect. No one left to become. Just life, revealing itself, through you. The universe looking through your eyes. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and look around, not with thoughts, but with presence. Maybe you're sitting in a small room. Maybe you're walking through nature. But wherever you are, ask yourself, who is seeing through these eyes? If everything you've ever known, thoughts, emotions, memories, are just passing phenomena, then what is always here? What is it that knows you exist? In Zen, this is called Kensho, seeing your true nature, beyond all labels and roles. No longer a seeker of enlightenment, but enlightenment itself, looking back at itself through you. In the seeing, there is only the seen. In the hearing, there is only the heard. Baya Sutta. When you truly understand this, suffering loses its foundation. Because suffering only clings to a someone. Someone who is hurt, who is lacking, who is trying to become something. But when there's no one to suffer, pain dissolves like morning mist in the light of the sun. Modern physicists like Carlo Rovelli describe the universe as a web of relations, where nothing exists independently. Only interactions and processes unfolding. You don't exist as a separate entity. You are a meeting point of countless connections, biological, social, energetic, conscious. And if consciousness is not confined to the brain, but is a stream flowing through the universe, then you are not just living in the universe. You are the universe, waking up. So maybe there's no need to seek awakening in distant places. Because it's already happening, right now, right here, within you. When you truly listen, truly see, truly be, the universe is experiencing itself through your gaze. No names needed. No definitions required. Just living. The silence within you is the voice of the universe. Eckhart Tolle. If you've stayed with us until this very moment, perhaps something within you is quietly resonating. Something that feels strangely familiar. Maybe it's a question. Maybe it's a deep sense of connection. Or maybe it's just a stillness, a silence you never quite knew how to name. Buddha Balance doesn't claim to have the answers. We simply wish to sit beside you and gently ask life's big questions together. So if you find yourself searching, awakening, or just wanting to slow down your breath for a while in this noisy world, subscribe to join us for the journeys to come. And if you feel this video might touch someone you care about, share it as a gift. Not to spread a brand, but to spread awareness. Thank you for being here. See you again in the next Buddha Balance video.